It's been 1,000 years since the great root vegetable has risen, known as the cyst. Many great empires have risen from the earth like roots yearning for the sun, where a simple lick from a frog-shaped radish can turn a mighty general into a frogman. With the great radish wars now over, warring bands roam the land looking for riches or fertile land. On this day we find the Mycelium Marauders, a roaming band of mushroomers led by the great Todd. As they look to claim the barren berry bushes for themselves, the noble Yardigans look to protect their vital jam producers, who will be filling bushels of berries on this week's battle report of Turnip28. Hey, how's it going? Mike from Mike Rolls Dice, and welcome to our first game of Turnip28 here on the channel. If you're new here, we have a ton of different battle reports featuring everything from Conflict 47 to bolt action to one-page rules, and now Turnip28. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to our YouTube members and everyone that watches the channel here. The support means a lot, and I couldn't do it without you folks. So thank you so much to everyone that tunes in here. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get into our army lists. Starting off, we have the Mycelium Marauders here. And this is the army I'll be playing today. Starting off with our Toff. The Toff is the leader of the army and has a 6-inch command range, equipped with a pistol and a saber.
Now is the time, my Mycelium Marauders.
The Toff has 2 follower units, and today my Toff will be leading 2 units of Chaff, which have 4 models and are kind of like a light skirmisher unit. And both units of Chaff are equipped with black powder weapons. So next up we have a Toady, which is another snob, another leader here. And the Toady gets 1 follower unit. And this Toady is leading a unit of Bastards. They're a cavalry unit with 3 models and a lot of attacks and wounds. They're all equipped with close combat weapons. Then we have 1 more Toady here, who will be leading another unit of Bastards.
Forward, men! Get ready to tear them to pieces!
That's my army list. We made all these models by hand and painted them and flocked them on stream. Now moving on to Rev's list. So for the Yardigans here, starting off we have the Toff of Rev's army, Gnomestradamus. Just like my Toff, he's equipped with a pistol and a saber.
It is I, the great Gnomestradamus. Follow me, gnomes. I shall lead you to victory.
Today, Gnomestradamus will be leading a unit of Brutes. And the Brutes have 6 models and 2 attacks. They are equipped with close combat weapons. Then we have a unit of Fodder, which is also equipped with close combat weapons. This is your cheaper unit. And those are the 2 follower units that Gnomestradamus is leading.
Remember, we are the Yardigans.
Next up we have a Toady here, a leader. For their follower unit, they have 4 Whelps, which are another mounted unit, kind of a faster, lighter cavalry, equipped with close combat weapons. Last but not least, we have our last snob here, another Toady, who's leading a unit of Chaff, and they are equipped with missile weapons.
Shoot straight, gnomes. Wait till you see the whites of their mushroom caps.
And that's Rev's list. Now moving on to the setup of today's game. Being that this is our first game of Turnip28, today we are following the rulebook's recommendations and starting off with no cults and trying out the Lawn March scenario. So for this scenario, there are different types of terrain. There are 3 pieces of dangerous terrain. As you can see, we have 2 pieces of terrain that I brought and the 1 little mushroom hut that the Yardigans brought. Then we have a defensible piece of terrain that'll be in the center line. We have 2 pieces of cover, as well as our 5 objective markers, which unfortunately I didn't get to finish. They're supposed to be berry bushes, but we'll just imagine somebody picked all the berries off of them already. With our terrain and objective markers prepared, we get ready to roll off for the initiative and start setting up the scenario. Rolling off for initiative. I win the initiative here. And we start off here with the player with the initiative. That's me, starting off by placing a piece of dangerous terrain and going back and forth until all 3 pieces of dangerous terrain have been deployed. Passing through dangerous terrain, you need to take a dangerous terrain test. For every one, you lose a model. Next up, I put the defensible terrain somewhere on the center line as the player with the initiative. Defensible terrain providing a buff via a +1 inaccuracy to units shooting at anybody inside defensible terrain. And both of us deploy our pieces of cover. When being behind a piece of cover, any unit receives +1 to their inaccuracy when shooting at you. And last but not least, we're setting up our objective markers here. Player with the initiative starts, with me and Rev taking turns placing our objective markers on the map. With objectives, once they're captured, they remain captured until an enemy unit comes and takes it away from them, with the last objective marker ending up in that defensible piece of terrain in the center of the board. So with the basic layout of the board set up, now we can get ready and deploy our units. Starting with the player with the initiative, I deploy my Mycelium Marauders, or the Bastards.
Forward! Line up, men!
Followed up by Rev's Toady and his unit of Chaff.
Prepare yourselves, gnomes. We must defend our mushroom keep.
Taking my second Toady and unit of Bastards, I deploy them right next to the first. And Gnomestradamus hits the board with his brutes and his unit of fodder as well.
Do not worry, gnomes, for I have seen the scrolls of the future, and we shall win.
Last but not least, I deploy my last leader here, which is my Toff. His name is Todd. And his 2 units of his Chaff right in front of him.
Look here, my mushroom Mycelium Marauders. If we do not claim victory today, my reputation shall be tarnished.
And for Rev's last deployment, his last Toady here with his unit of Whelps.
Yes, my gnomes. Prepare for battle.
You'll never take our yards.
Yeah.
And with that, we're pretty much ready to start the game, but the board's not looking 100% there yet. That's better. After adding the usual micros dice treatment of just a variety of random rocks and pebbles and trees, all of the additional terrain that we added here is all just for visuals. The game encourages to make sure that the board looks nice while still being functional terrain-wise. Now that we have both of our armies set up on the board, we have our scenario ready. The game's very simple. Whoever controls the most objectives at the end of the game will win. Another way to win is by eliminating all of the snobs or leaders on an enemy team. With the setup and deployment and the mission rules out of the way, let's get started with our first game of Turnip28 with the start of turn 1. So start of turn 1 here, and the player with the initiative is going to be going first for the rest of the game. Starting off by ordering my unit of Bastards with my Toady. And after passing their blunder test, rolling 2d6 and adding that to their movement.
Forward! Get ready to cut down these gnomes. We'll add them to the soup pot. Forward!
They're going to fly right up the board to the center objective, moving my Toady along with them. Now this is an alternate activation game, so Rev activating here. Taking his Toady, he's going to order his unit of Chaff to fire their missile weapons at the Bastards. After passing his blunder test, he's going to fire his missile weapons at them. Luckily, the mushroom riding Bastards in the center make their saves, but they receive a panic token. Now my Todd here is activating. He's ordering my unit of Chaff in front of him. And after passing their blunder test, they are just moving forward, getting behind the piece of cover, in case they get shot at a later turn.
Prepare positions. Take cover.
So the great Gnomestradamus is activating here.
Remember, gnomes, we must protect the keep.
And ordering his unit of fodder to charge the Bastards in the center. After passing their blunder test, they're going to move. Now this was a mistake on our end. I was actually supposed to roll a panic test here due to getting charged. We're gonna make a couple mistakes on the first turn, but we catch most of them and rectify them.
Gosh, they're so far away. Don't worry, my gnomes. We will bide our time.
So now I'm activating my toady here, and he's going to be ordering the unit of bastards that haven't activated yet, and they are going to charge into the center, charging the unit of fodder that have now moved closer into the board.
Charge!
They're going to be rolling to see the distance on their movement first. Remembering here our panic test rule, they pass their panic test, adding 1 for each panic token. As long as the result is in a 7 or higher, they will pass the panic test. And with the fodder not fleeing, the bastards move into base-to-base contact. And the bastards are going to make their attacks now with 4 attacks each. I just wanted to take a moment to point out how many 6s I actually rolled here. The root gods have truly blessed me on this day. And after losing 8 out of the 4 fodder fighting back, making attacks against the bastards, they manage a wound, and being the losers of the combat, they retreat from combat.
Run away! Holy beats! How are we supposed to fight these things? They're huge!
Rev activating his toady here and ordering the whelps to charge the bastards in the center. The whelps need to pass their blunder test, which they do, and they're going to make their movement now. We did forget the panic test, but don't worry, we're going to remember here in a sec. But the whelps are moving. Now, unfortunately, didn't get enough movement in their charge to get in base-to-base contact, so they're going to end up just outside of the defensible terrain here. And remembering our panic tests, I rolled a panic test for the bastards, and actually getting a 6 plus the 1 panic token, leading to a result of a 7, means that they will flee.
About face, Mushroom Riders, retreat!
Seeing those gnomes riding the boar and bunnies and the pigeon terrified them so much that they decided to run backwards into the dangerous terrain, fleeing from the whelps. And after failing a dangerous terrain test, rolling a die for each model, and rolling a 1, they lose one of the bastards. And the whelps have a special ability that after activating and finishing their order, they get a additional movement. So Rev moving on to the point with his whelps.
Forward! Let us capture the berry bushes!
So now the other unit of chaff here are going to activate. This is the point in the order activations where any units that cannot be ordered by leaders activate. And the chaff successfully pass their blunder test and just advance forward. They're going to be moving and shooting their black powder weapons at the whelps in the center objective. And after failing a save, Rev lose one of the whelps. One thing we forgot is the whelps were supposed to retreat after losing the shooting engagement. And being that the chaff are equipped with black powder weapons, they get a black powder token. So the unit of brutes on Rev's side are activating now, the follower unit not being ordered by a leader. And they're going to charge the bastards. And now properly doing our panic test, the bastards fail their panic test after seeing these very burly gnomes charge at them and are forced to retreat backwards. Now unfortunately they end up having to pass through 2 follower units and have to take 2 dangerous terrain tests while fleeing through their own men.
Where are you going, damn it? Stop retreating!
Run away!
Now something here is I rolled 2 1s thinking that it was wounds and not models. Don't worry though, later on at the start of turn 2 we realize this and I remove an additional model. So they lose 2 bastards from the dangerous terrain tests. And after fleeing, the brutes move as much as they can, chasing them and get their movement across the board.
Charge, my burly gnome brothers! We'll show them the true power of the Yardigans!
So at this point, we remember the whelps were actually supposed to retreat after losing the shooting engagement. And here, Rev is fleeing off the center objective after receiving a volley from the black powder weapons.
Retreat, gnomes! They have superior technology! Do not worry, we will be back, for we are the Yardigans.
And with a couple of mistakes in turn 1, this game is quite easy to wrap our heads around. We're starting to get the grasp of things. Both armies pushing up the board, with already some units being weakened, losing some minis. It's the end of turn 1, and we're moving on to the start of turn 2. Not wanting to lose the game from losing all my snobs, start of turn 2, the player with the initiative, that's me, is activating here, and I'm going to take my lone toady, who's off in the center after his bastards ran away, and he's going to just take his full movement and link back up with his mushroom riders.
Where the hell are you going, damn it? Get back here! The Mushroom Kingdom needs you!
But they was riding pigeons, sir. We had to leave.
So Rev now using Gnomestradamus and activating the brutes. They're going to charge my bastards.
Ready, gnomes! Now is our chance! Gnomestradamus predicted that we shall win! Charge!
They luckily passed their panic test, so the bastards don't flee, and the brutes now roll their charge distance and move into close quarters combat. Both units are equipped with close combat weapons, but being that the brutes charged the mushroom riders, they're going to attack first. But passing into dangerous terrain, they do need to take a dangerous terrain test, and not seeing the puddle there, one of the gnomes drowns in the puddle before they get to make their attacks.
Charlie, no! He fell into the pit! Get them! Ah!
Now the gnomes making their attacks and the bastards attempting to make their vulnerability saves, but unfortunately they're taken out by the burly gnomes.
Yeah, that's right. We're the Yardigans. Don't forget it.
So Todd now, my Toph is activating, and after Rev forgot to move his Toph along with his brute, I realize now that the Toph is within 18 inches, and we get to do something that's very fun, the ability of the Toph, which Rev has to accept, which is the Toph off.
You, Nostradamus, I challenge you to a tough-off.
So after finding a nice place for a picnic on the board, we take both of our Tophs, move them to a fun area. They're going to fight in combat, in close quarters combat, until one of them is taken out.
Prepare to feel the fury of God.
With their pistols firing and their sabers clashing one after another, round after round of combat. And after many rounds of combat, they're left with one wound each.
But you are wrong, for I have seen in my crystal gnome bell the future.
And in the last clashing blows, with both heroes getting a hit, Todd finds his mark and takes out Gnomestradamus.
You, sir, are an impostor. That is what you get for not trusting in the cyst. But the great brute vegetable.
And with the picnic now done, I can put my Toph now back where he was, and he can complete his order, having the unit of chaff stand and fire at the brutes that are now Tophless.
Not the great Gnomestradamus.
After passing their blunder test, they fire their black powder weapons, reducing their inaccuracy after not moving. And they manage to take out two of the brutes. And being that the unit of brutes has Fearless, on a 3-up, they do not retreat. Getting an additional panic token as well. The chaff now getting a black powder token, meaning they won't be able to return fire if shot at this turn, as they've already shot their black powder weapons. So Rev's Toady in the back here with his unit of chaff, they're going to be activating. And they're going to stand and shoot at the toady that is on the other side of the defensible terrain.
Load up your arrows, gnomes.
After passing their blunder test, they fire their missile weapons. With 3 failed vulnerability saves, they manage to take out the first of my snobs.
Now is our chance, gnomes. Forward!
So the whelps are activating. They are going to attempt to charge the unit of chaff that are behind the piece of cover. Whelps passing their blunder test here and then rolling to see the distance on their charge.
Forward, my gnomes! This is for Gnomestradamus, you swine!
Now the chaff did pass their panic test, so they did not flee. Now the whelps will make 2 attacks each on the unit of chaff. But only managing to take out one of the chaff, and with the 3 skirmishers fighting back, they actually managed to take out 2 of the whelps, forcing the lone whelp on the bird to now retreat.
Never mind, run away! They're way stronger! Retreat, pigeon riders!
Luckily passing its dangerous terrain test after moving through the bog.
Where are you going? Get back there, damn it!
But Rev using the whelp's ability after activating and getting that additional movement.
Us Yardigans do not retreat. If you do that again, I'll take you down myself.
So now the follower units without the snobs are activating. My unit of chaff are going to stand and shoot at the 3 remaining brutes that are on the dangerous terrain.
Stand tall, my gnome brothers. The bushes are firing at us.
Needs to pass a blunder test first. And after failing 2 of the vulnerability saves, just leaving 1 of the brutes left. And again, being brutes, using their ability Fearless, rolling a 4-up and not fleeing or retreating. So now the unit of fodder here without the snob are attempting to charge the unit of chaff. And they pass their blunder test. The unit of chaff that they're charging passed their panic test.
Forward, gnomes!
And unfortunately, they don't manage to make it in base-to-base contact, so they end up just in front of the chaff.
Gosh, they're so far away. What the hell's wrong with these guys? Get over here!
So the 1 lone remaining bastard model here is going to activate. After passing its blunder test, it's going to charge into that unit of fodder that attempted to charge the unit of chaff. It's got to pass a blunder test first, which it does, and rolling for the distance on the charge, 3 + 12 inches, and the gnomes pass their panic test. Being that it charged, it will make its attacks on the gnomes first.
This is for my mushroom brothers. I'm gonna slice you up proper.
Take this, mushroom man!
Managing to strike down one of the gnomes. Now the 3 remaining fodder will fight back. And after rolling 3 6s on attacks, they manage to actually win the combat and take out the brutes. And that's the end of turn 2 here. The gnomes have surged across the board with their tiny little legs and are quickly putting the pressure on the Mycelium Marauders. End of turn here, taking away the black powder weapon tokens, as it's the end of turn 2. We're moving on to the start of turn 3. Start of turn 3 here, and my Toph is activating. Todd, he is going to order the unit of chaff to stand and shoot the fodder that failed to charge them last turn.
Prepare fire. Get ready to gun them down, men. For the great Mushroom Kingdom.
But with a successful vulnerability save, Rev doesn't lose a single fodder model.
Stand your ground, gnomes!
So now the lone remaining whelp is attempting to charge the chaff here successfully.
Now move forward and charge, gnome! Make the Yardigans proud!
The chaff pass their panic test, and the whelp moves into base-to-base contact with them.
You'll never take our yards, for we are the Yardigans.
Making its 2 attacks against the chaff first. They lose 1 model, and now will fight back. But fail to do any damage. And after losing the combat, they flee, and unfortunately end up passing through a friendly follower unit and also ending in dangerous terrain. They have 2 dangerous terrain tests to make.
Where do you think you're going, men? You cowards! Stop running!
Losing 1 mini passing through the follower unit, and losing the other one into the pits of the bog. And after successfully activating, the whelp will just move a little bit. The whelp will use its ability to get additional movement. Now I'm using my toady that's within 3 inches of the unit of chaff to stand and fire at the 1 remaining brute.
Prepare fire! Gun them down!
And with all 4 guns focused on the brute, it's easily taken out.
Good job, men. Now prepare for the next volley.
Rev using his toady here, his snob, to order the unit of chaff on his side, and they're essentially going to run using their movement and rolling 2d6 to get as far as they can to get up on that central point on the objective.
All right, gnomes, forward. We will claim the central berry bush for ourselves. Perhaps we shall make some jams and maybe even some pies. Take defensive positions. They are faltering.
Rev, still having follower units to activate, is going to take his unit of fodder and charge into my Toph, aka Todd, who's now wounded.
Well, how dare you, good sirs? I shall cut you down.
Todd stands firm after the charge. But unfortunately, with the 3 gnomes gaining up, they managed to break through his guard and take out my leader. With that is the end of turn 3. The gnomes are taking over the board, and we're moving on to the last turn with the start of turn 4. Start of turn 4 here, being that I still have the initiative, I'm going to activate my toady here and order my unit of chaff to stand and shoot at the unit of fodder that took out Todd.
Prepare fire! Gun them down! They took out Todd.
And unfortunately failing 2 of the vulnerability saves and losing the shooting engagement, the 1 remaining gnome flees into the dangerous terrain, but luckily doesn't get sucked into the bog. Rev using his toady to activate and order the unit of chaff in the center, standing and shooting at my unit of chaff. Being that they have a black powder token and they've already fired their black powder weapons this turn, they can't return fire unfortunately, but they luckily don't lose any minis just receiving a panic token. Now Rev ordering his unit of whelps here to charge my unit of chaff that just receives a panic token. Luckily only having 1 token, rolling a 6 and not a 7, they do not flee, and the whelp will now make attacks. Managing to take out 1 of my chaff, and they now fight back.
Cornelius, my sweet pigeon. No!
But with 2 lucky 6s, they managed to take out the whelp. And with that, that's the end of turn 4. The gnomes have successfully surged across the board. I do control the 1 objective that I placed, but the 1 toady took the objective on the right near my deployment. The chaff have taken the central objective, and they still control the one in Rev's dangerous piece of terrain. The end of the game here with the Yardigans controlling 3 of the objectives and the Mycelium Marauders only controlling 1. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed our first game of Turnip28. A couple little mistakes here and there, but it was quite easy to learn, and we're going to quickly get the hang of it. So hopefully you enjoyed something different here on the channel. I've been looking forward to play this game forever since I first saw the aesthetics of it. I took some time and essentially handmade the army that I played today, and Rev did an awesome job with his Yardigans and the gnomes. And we look forward to playing some more games of Turnip28 and actually incorporating the cults and some of the special rules into the game. So we've been going hard with conflict, and we still will be making a ton of conflict videos. I figured every now and then we can mix it up and showcase some other games here and there on the channel. If you enjoyed this battle report of Turnip28 and you'd like to see more, let me know down below. And thank you so much to everyone that watches the channel here and all of our YouTube members. Again, without you folks, I couldn't do it. Your support means a lot. Well, thank you so much for watching. My name is Mike from Mike Rolls Dice. Thanks for watching our first Turnip28 battle report. We'll have more in the future. Stay tuned next week for another Conflict 47 battle report. Thanks again for watching. And as always, keep rolling high on those dice.
Even though we have lost the great and holy Gnomes, my fellow gnomes, for today we have proven that the Yardigans are not to be messed with, for we are the true mushroom protectors.